everyone, I'm back, and I've been told some people want to see some of my Lego creations. Um, really, it's just one, but I'm gonna do it anyway, and I'm gonna see how many views and likes it gets. And I think that one person might be happy that I did that. So, of course, I'm sitting on the floor here because I'm gonna be adjusting my camera to view all of my Lego creations. And I got a few, and they're pretty massive, though. So, and my camera's not able to fit it all unless I were to view it out. So I'm going to start grabbing them. Please don't tip. Alright, I'm going to have to grab some. So, I do a lot in Lego. And I'm, like, seriously, a lot. I started building some stuff when I was, like, 8 or something. And so now I have this massive ship. And let's put it in view. Holy crap. This entire ship into frame. So, I made this ship. It is a variety of different ships put together. And I made a smaller ship that would fit inside it. That will eject right out of it when I open it up. And I'll show you where it's stored. Of course, I have opening wing panels. So, it opens up, and the ship stores in here, within this area. It hides, like, down in here. As you see my little fingers, it hides down in here. This is not hollow. This is not really hollow. I designed it, like a few, I've been working on this. I have a new canopy part right here that I recently added, and I've had this for an extremely long time, because I worked on it like 2 years ago, and it took me a few months to build it. And there's just so many playable features, because I have the Star Scavenger back here hooked on top of a U-wing with a TIE Striker, I believe, hooked on top of the very front canopy of the Star Scavenger, hooked on top of a Ninjago set. So it's a mixture between Ninjago and Star Wars, and a little bit of Lego City because I have these airplane wings for the very front. And one thing that I added that is relatively old, it's a very old brick. Holy crap. Well, the sticker's older. The sticker and the brick is relatively old. Like, it's so old, the sticker is literally yellow, and it used to be clear. Let's put it up to the camera. Let's see. As you can see, it says USA with the American flag. You may see white in the camera, but that is like very yellow, very disgusting yellow, in fact. But I have it sitting right here on top of the canopy, and I just have a lot of features done to this because I would open up this. If you know what the Star Scavenger is, which is a Lego set that came out when the show came out, the Star Scavenger. Of course, this isn't actually size accurate. If all these ships were size accurate, this wouldn't be a thing at all. Because this is massive. The Star Scavenger itself is massive. If you've seen any of the shows, you can see it can literally hold an X-wing wing. It can hold an entire ship in it, too. So this is the tiny pod ship that's in it. It has little legs. Little legs. So, yeah, I'm actually pretty far. This is like a meter far from my camera. I'm normally not that far. for my camera. So, to let you guys know, I don't have that great of a camera. And if you hear something in the background, it's from my fan. Because it gets hot in the room I'm in. And I'm going to this entire thing can separate. Because I made it to be very accessible in certain areas. So, it's going to lift up this canopy. Pop the canopy right off. Just leave it on the ground. If you guys do want to build this, which is slightly hard, but if you have these 4 sets, I can show you on how I built the extra parts and how I stacked them together. It's very simple. It's just a few parts are putting everything together. But this main canopy area right here is the main. Most of the bricks that I added on. But barely any modifications done to these ships. So the U-Wing still works perfectly fine if you take it apart. But one thing about the Star Scavenger and the U-Wing, they're stuck together. That's how I had it specially designed. So let's start off pulling some ships apart. Gotta be careful about that, otherwise it will tear apart the unit itself. And of course, most people that have a lot of Legos, they most likely have these bricks. Because they're very simple, easy to find bricks. So I'm just pulling this off. So now you can see more done to the ship. I do want to modify something because I have a normal brick instead of a rounded out like brick for the underside. So here is the this is a ship that's mostly modified, really. You know, I would say the U-Wing got mostly modified. TIE Striker, not that much. Still pretty the same, because here's the the TIE Striker. I mean, so now that the TIE Striker open, I can now pop off this panel. Dang, I'm being called for. Just 1 minute. What? Alright. I absolutely apologize that happened. I wasn't expecting anything. So now we have this giant quarter panel taken off, and it's very massive, truly. It's just a whole bunch of these bricks and pieces put together to look pretty cool. So now the entire this ship rolls right off. I mean, I specially designed it to do that. So here's the U-Wing and the Star Scavenger. It's just my camera. So here's the U-Wing and the Star Scavenger put together. Now, I really will make a tutorial video on how you can do this, because it's pretty simple if you have all these sets. But I don't recommend just buying all these so you do what I did. I don't care if you did. I mean, I just don't recommend that, because it's just stupid just to do something, just to copy something someone did by spending a lot of money on just Lego bricks. So you're just going to have it sit on a display stand. So the U-Wing still works perfectly fine. I made everything so it's all accessible. Star Scavenger, you still, now, if I were to just raise this, click that back in, raise this, and click that back in. This has a lot of accessibility. What? Never mind. There's lots of features that allow everything to still work. Because it's pretty accessible. What is wrong with my tongue right now? It's not doing what I tell it to do. So you can still take off the Star Scavenger. And no, I'm not missing any pieces. That's just the way how I modified it. Because this has the panel on its bottom. So now that I have that off, you just have this plain ship. Can't really fly without a pilot because it's missing the entire pilot half. So that comes off, and this is pretty much just a stationary ship. But the one thing about the U-Wing is it's heavily armed. Full of troops. Well, then let's move these out of the way. Out of the way. I hope my audio doesn't suck. So now I have this left. Of course, if you have this, all I did was a very simple modification. I have two of these struts here. They're attached on by pins. Those really don't affect anything on it. So let's just take this out. And then another modification done to the tail. I have that to support the TIE Striker. And that is pretty much it, really. So that is one creation. That is my biggest creation I've ever done, and it's the longest. Okay, so now that I went over that, I'm going to bring in another massive thing that I've done, and it is pretty decent sized. So I'm going to grab that. And it's fragile in a section or two. This is a decent size compared to my carrier, is what I like to call it. So let's back the camera up a little bit, lower it down. So I have this pretty decent sized ship right here. None of these are actual sets. All of this I've done. So all of this I created by hand. So this very front section here, I did use blueprints from a different set. Just blueprints. It's not the actual set itself because I never got that. I was just able to Google up the blueprints online and got that. So let's go over the weaponry. Now you do see this thing that I'm spinning around. This is a massive turret. Because, anyway, the type of ship this is would be a bomber. I have a bomb bay down in here. And this entire thing separates into multiple ships. It's 3 ships I built put together to make this. So this giant cannon-like turret thing. This would be a flank turret. If you don't know what a flank turret is, it's an AA. If you don't know what that is, anti-aircraft. It is 20 millimeter. At least that's what I want it to be. Overall, it's just 1 millimeter. Because it's Lego. But if you're thinking about a 20 millimeter anti-aircraft gun sitting on a bomber, in fact, in Lego size, this would be 20 millimeter. So I'm pretty much correct. For Lego sized, anyway. Because these are minifigures. And I have 1, 2, 3 cockpits. You may be wondering why. Why is this one not concealed? Well, I do know there's no canopy over him. No coverage over him. But if they do need to go in a higher atmosphere, he would have an oxygen. So, the way and how this is ordered, this guy right in here, covered around, surrounded by all this armor, is the pilot. This guy in this orange canopy, which is very wide open. And it's a stealth fighter right here, which is controlling this. That's pretty cool. I currently have a TIE pilot in there, an AT-ST pilot, whatever. And then I have a Luke Skywalker, actually, here. Not in his Luke Skywalker helmet, I just found in Ryan Maxwell helmet. And so, it took me a while to build the black ship, the stealth fighter, and the white ship here, because it's hard to find all these special colored bricks. Though the white bricks, I just had this big bin of white bricks. I'm like, I dumped it out, started putting stuff together, and it came out with a fighter. And I came out with a probe at first until I ran into a minifig. And I'm like, you know what? Let's modify this to fit a minifig. So that's controlled like that. And that is the overview of this. So this is the bomber that I made. All custom handed. Nothing is an actual set from Lego. Now the cool feature is these wings can rotate as well, because they're able to lock into place. Because that's from a Republic Fighter instruction set video that I found on YouTube. Let's move on. Now, if you want to call Lego like a model or something, you're fine. Let's bring in this. So, I have another ship from the same show as the Star Scavenger, Freemakers Adventures or something. It's from the same show, so if you've seen season 2 of it, you'll recognize this. It is called the Arrowhead. So this is the Arrowhead, and the main feature of this, I say, would be its giant axe. Now you wonder why. Why does a starship have an axe? Well, one thing about the starship, so if I'm going to open this, take this out. This is its power source. It's a Kyber crystal. A very massive one, too. Close up. It's very nice Lego crystal, and it's a very nice blue, really. I'm going to stick that back in there, and that is the main power source for this entire ship, and it's what powers the entire ship. It's the engine. It's the ways and how it gets propulsion, ammunition fire. Now, one thing that's very cool about this, because you're probably still wondering why an axe for the very front half of the ship. Oops, landing fell. So, this crystal back here will feed, it takes in energy from the ship. It's going to be fed down all the way to this axe. Not only this powers the shield, so by the time that's activated, a huge shield is activated. By the time this is on, every Imperial is scared. Because if the Imperial officer that controls the Star Destroyer hasn't seen the full power of it, then they're stupid. If they're being warned by other officers that have, and they're ignoring that, then they're stupid. Because by the time the shield is on, it's invincible. By the time this is on, it's invincible. Because it's pretty much a lightsaber. The entire ship is the hilt, and the blade is the shield and the axe. So, put it that way, lightsabers, you cannot break the blade without breaking the hilt. You have to break the hilt to deactivate the blade. So it's virtually invincible. The only way to penetrate it is if the shield was down, which is manually turned off. And when the shield's down, you can easily disable it by taking the crystal. It can't fly, it can't power up anything, nothing's powered, and you're just trouble. This was made by a Jedi in training. So the crazy thing is, when this was on, I told you, it's a lightsaber. Because it's powered by a Kyber crystal, it's a lightsaber in a very massive form. I mean, this is massive. Take off the canopy, you got pilot, co-pilot, button pusher, and shield activation and deactivation. Why I said button pusher if you've seen episodes, you'll know. So, not only ran another set, the reason why I'm leaving that here. So, I have this Star Destroyer. Sadly, I don't have the normal Star Destroyer with this big giant bridge, but I have the Finalizer. So, say this is flying, it's going to be like a tiny speck going through. This comes up from the bow. What's it's going to do is it's going to slice right through. It's going to take a few minutes because it's extremely tiny compared to a massive ship. Because a normal Star Destroyer is like that big. This is the Finalizer, so it takes just a few more minutes to get through. So you're going to be coming right through the middle, and it splits in half. And it's kind of like that one scene from The Last Jedi. Hopefully, spoilers, if you haven't seen it, because I know there's a few people that still haven't seen it. Spoilers, if you have, you'll know the one scene where they jump through light speed and it just splits apart all these Star Destroyers and stuff. Hopefully everyone's seen it by now. I'm just hoping that. So, let's put this back. Lightsaber ship. And I'm going to take this as the last one. I don't want to do another. I'm running out of air. So, I have this. It looks like a private jet, really. But this is where I got the wings. The wings from. Of course, I modified this, really, in this area. I added this area on. Without this, it'd be clunk shorter. And it'd have bigger wings. But I modified it so it's able to take in short wings. And the entire thing is just modified. The main thing that I've designed this to do is to make a pretty reasonable crash. Like, say it's been shot down and it's been taken down. I can make it look very well like it's just completely got destroyed. So that's what I primarily have this designed. It's a cargo plane. It's no longer a plane, it's more of a starship. It's a cargo ship. However you want to call it, whatever. So, cool thing, it has VTOL. Okay, it's not really that cool. I mean, every starship in Star Wars has VTOL. But I open this up, which is the cargo bay. Pop those off, click those back on. So I have the open cargo bay up. So the cargo bay is now opened. Now I can have it even more open by pulling off that. Moving it back here is what I sometimes do. So here's the cargo bay with the precious cargo in it. Cargo bay. And it's just an empty cargo bay. That's its primary feature. Well, that's a feature. Its primary feature is the destruction, cool looking design, destruction style, whatever. So, that's pretty much it. Most of my LEGO creations. More or less some. I lost one, sadly, because I have this makeshift table that you see me go over towards the camera and past, and I grabbed the Star Destroyer from there and the bomber. I had a dreadnought with these big, massive guns in the very bow of the ship, and sadly, the makeshift table fell into the ground. The Star Destroyer fell on top of that dreadnought, and so the Star Destroyer, dreadnought, and bomber were completely devastated. But surprisingly, the Star Destroyer is most in contact. The Star Destroyer and bomber I was able to retrieve. The dreadnought sadly wasn't. There's too many weak spots in it anyway. Now, if I'd taken a light fall instead of a meter high fall, I wouldn't have been able to recover it. So, disappointment. I would have had like an extra 5 minutes added on the video. Well, I guess that's all. I do have a Coast Guard set, but it's just a Coast Guard. You can just easily look at it. You can go on Lego. Well, guess that's it.